Welcome to the third video lecture of Electronic Devices KEC 301 Unit 2. The topic will be discussed are materials, that is intrinsic and extrinsic material, and carrier concentration of these holes and electron into these material. So intrinsic carrier concentration I have already discussed in the previous video. So from today I will be starting from the extrinsic carrier concentration. What is extrinsic material? In addition to an intrinsic carrier generated thermally, it is possible for us to generate a concentration of electrons and holes by externally adding some impurity to the intrinsic material. The process of adding impurities to the semiconductor is called as doping. And the most common technique for varying the conductivity of the semiconductor is by doing the doping into an intrinsic semiconductor. So means we are making an intrinsic semiconductor into an extrinsic semiconductor so that we can increase its conductivity. Mathematically, if we see that conductivity is dependent upon the number of charge carriers that we have already seen in previous video. So if we increase the number of charge carriers into any material, then its conductivity will be increasing in same proportion. So n-type and p-type materials are created by doing the doping of intrinsic semiconductor. If there is a majority of electrons into the semiconductor, then these are called as n-type semiconductor. And if we have added an impurity in such a way that majority carrier concentration is of holes, then these type of extrinsic material are called as p-type materials or p-type semiconductor. And if we talk about their equilibrium condition, then we can represent this by N naught and P naught concentration of electrons and holes at the equilibrium. So if we have added an impurity to an intrinsic semiconductor, then there is some energy level added to the energy bands of the pure semiconductor. So what is donor level? We have two type of levels, donor level and acceptor level. So when the impurity or the lattice defects are introduced into an otherwise perfect crystal, additional levels are created into the energy band structure, usually within the gap. So at about 50 to 100 Kelvin, virtually all of the electrons in the impurity level are donated to the conduction band. So due to this, that electrons that from the energy level that is just below the conduction band are reaching to the conduction band, means this energy level is donating electrons to the conduction band. So it is called a donor energy level. This you can see ED is representing a donor energy level that is lying just below the conduction band. Why it is lying just below the conduction band? Because right now an impurity from the group 4 has been added, and that group 4 impurity is going to add some extra electrons to the system, to the material. So that extra electrons are the free electrons, and that that are responsible for the conduction. So that will be in this energy level ET, and with a small temperature these will reach to the conduction. So this electrons from this donor energy level reaches to the conduction band. These arrows are representing the movement of electron from donor level to the conduction band, so that they are responsible for conducting the current. These electrons are being donated from conduction energy level, donor energy level, to the conduction band. So these are called the donor impurities, that are creating a layer of energy level. Some electrons, those are donated to the conduction band. So this is called the donor level when we have added a group 5 element as an impurity to an intrinsic semiconductor. The same kind of the phenomena happens when we add a acceptor impurity, that is the group 3 impurity, with the difference that it is a group 3 element, so it has a valency of only 3. So when we add it to the silicon semiconductor, then one of the electron of silicon semiconductor is left out and it does not get any electron from this group 3 element because their only valency is 3. So one electron that is required there, so that vacancy is termed as hole, and the level, that is the requirement of hole, this energy level lies near the valence band. So in that case, since the type of impurity level that is near the valence band, this accepts the electrons from the valence band, and so it is called the acceptor type of energy level, and the impurities of group 3 elements are called as acceptor type of impurity. So to analyze the behavior of these particles that we have introduced into these materials, that is we have holes and electrons in intrinsic and some increased number of holes and electron in an extrinsic material. So to study its statistical behavior of these particles, we must know some laws based on which we will study the behavior and distribution of these charged particles. So there are three. One is the Maxwell-Boltzmann probability function, Bose-Einstein function, and Fermi-Dirac probability function. Our main concentration will be on Fermi-Dirac probability function because this is the function that defines that the distribution of holes and electrons into the quantum states. The electron into a crystal obey Fermi-Dirac probability, that is Fermi-Dirac distribution law. So we will study this in detail, and as per the Maxwell-Boltzmann probability function, the probability particles are considered to be distinguishable by being numbered, for example from 1 to n, with no limit to the number of particles allowed in each energy states. The behavior of gas molecules in a container at fairly low pressure is an example of this distribution. What happens in Bose-Einstein function? As per this function, the particle in this case are indistinguishable, and again there is no limit to the number of particles permitted in each quantum states. The behavior of photon or black body radiation is an example of Bose-Einstein function. But differing from these two functions, in Fermi-Dirac distribution function has only one particle permitted in each quantum state. Fermi-Dirac probability function, that you can see in this figure, there are di quantum states in an ith energy level. So we can write gi ways of choosing one place value, as there are gi place. So if we want to place one particle out of these gi places, then that first particle will have gi ways to be placed into this quantum state. Then for the second particle we have gi minus 1, because one place has been occupied by the first particle. In the similar way, for the third we have gi minus 2, because now the first and second, if we say, these two have been occupied by the first two electron. In that way we can write it as gi multiplied by gi minus 1 up to gi minus ni minus 1 is equal to g factorial by gi minus ni factorial. So this expression includes all the permutation of the Ni particle among themselves. Since the particles are indistinguishable, the Ni factorial number of permutation that the particles have among themselves in any given arrangement do not count as separate arrangements. The interchange of any two electrons, for example, does not produce a new arrangement. Therefore, the actual number of independent ways of realizing a distribution of Ni particle in the ith level is given as Wi is equal to Gi divided by Ni factorial multiplied by Gi minus Ni factorial. Now we should know that what is carrier concentration at any energy level. So to obtain the equation for the carrier concentration, we must investigate the distribution of carriers over the available energy states. This type of distribution requires some background in statistical methods. Since we are primarily concerned here with the application of these results to the semiconductor devices, so we will do the carrier concentration study about the semiconductor material. In that we will try to find the concentration of holes and electrons into a semiconductor material. So for that we have Fermi-Dirac distribution and Fermi level, using which we can find the probability of the presence of electron and the holes into a defined energy level E. So the density of states tells us how many states exist at a given energy E. The Fermi function Fe specifies how many of the existing state at the energy E will be filled with the electrons. The function Fe will be filled with the electrons, and the function Fe specifies under equilibrium condition the probability that an available state of an energy E will be occupied by an electron. It is the probability distribution function that can be defined as Fe is equal to 1 upon 1 plus e raised to the power e minus ef by kT. So this function Fe defines the probability of any probability of finding an electron in any energy state E. So using this we can find the probability of electron in this energy level E, and Ef is the Fermi energy level or the Fermi level. K is the Boltzmann constant, whose value is 8.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 5 electron volts per Kelvin. T is the absolute temperature in Kelvin. So using this we can find this is the Fermi-Dirac function, and this defines the probability of finding an electron into an energy energy level E. So if we solve this Fermi-Dirac distribution function for the energy level, if that energy level is like, if we have the energy level EF and our E is lying above this level, then what will happen if that exponential term, that E minus EF here, will become 1 plus exponential E minus EF by kT. So this will become infinite, and this complete will give a value 0. Similarly, if E is lying below the EF, then this value comes out to be 1. So what does it defines? It defines that if our energy level in which we are trying to find the probability of the electron is above the Fermi energy level, then finding an electron there, that probability is 0, and if the energy level is lying below the Fermi energy level, then the probability of finding an electron is 1, means there is full chance of finding an electron. So this we can for the extreme values of E greater than EF and less than EF, so this is the EF value. So if the energy level is above this EF, then you can see the Fermi, the finding of probability of finding an electron is 0. But when the value of E is below this EF value, then the probability of finding an electron is 1. So in that way we find this rectangular function or the rectangular distribution of the Fermi-Dirac distribution function. This is for the absolute temperature T. So we can draw a curve for the with the dependence of temperature, as we have seen that the Fermi-Dirac distribution function is dependent upon the temperature, as it is Fe is equal to 1 upon e to the power e minus Ef by kT. So depending upon the temperature, if I try to plot this, then I will get this blue line, that is for T is equal to 0, and this one is for temperature T1 and this one is for temperature T2, and the temperature T2 is greater than temperature T1. So this is for T1, this is for T2. So we can say that there is difference in probability of finding an electron at both the temperature T1 and T2. So this is Fermi-Dirac distribution applied to the semiconductor. So to have a good analysis of the Fermi-Dirac distribution of semiconductor, I have placed this band diagram of semiconductor next to the Fermi energy level distribution. Here on the x-axis you can see it is Fe, on y-axis I have energy. So along this energy I have placed these energy band. The first one is for the intrinsic material, the second is for the extrinsic material, and that extrinsic material here is n-type material. So here we can see that this is Ev is the valence band energy level, Ec is the conduction band energy level, and in the middle we have Fermi energy level, because for the intrinsic material we know that the Fermi energy lies in at the center of Ec and Ev, and this is representing the probability function, that is finding of electrons into that intrinsic material. So here it is for the clear representation, it is zoomed here, and you can see that there is a this probability function is reaching near to the conduction band. But what happens in this n-type semiconductor, there the Fermi level shift towards the conduction band, that was initially in center of this intrinsic material. So for this n-type material, the Fermi level shifts towards the conduction band, because there is an introduction of some extra electrons due to the impurity added from the type group 5 elements. This is the Fermi-Dirac distribution function for a p-type material. In this you can see there is a energy band level, that is for valence band, and this Ec is for the conduction band energy level. This graph that is drawn by the blue color is representing the distribution of probability function. So now for p-type material we know that the majority carrier concentration is of holes. So if we have Fe as a function that defines the probability of existence of electron in an energy level E, then 1 minus Fe will provide the that probability of existence of that empty states, and those empty states are called as holes into the semiconductor. So here we can find the probability of that existence of hole, and there is a gap between this 1 by 2 value of that probability, and this will look similar as like this edge. So Fermi energy level for this p type of semiconductor will lie above the valence band energy level. Now how we can calculate the concentration, that is the distribution of electrons and holes. So the density of electrons and holes are related to the density of state function and the Fermi distribution functions. So that density of states can is that Ne is equal to GCE multiplied by FEE. GC is called the density of states and F is providing the probability of finding an electron into that state. Similarly, we can find it for the electrons. PE, that is GVE, that is the density of states of electrons, and 1 minus FE is the probability of finding an electron into an energy level E. So the total electron and hole concentration per unit volume is found by integrating the corresponding function over the entire conduction and the valence band energy level. Because in the band diagram we have considered that these band of diagram, in that we do not have discrete energy level, that is the band of energy level with having a continuous distribution of energies. So into a band of energy, if we want to find the distribution of electrons and holes, then we need to calculate the value of that concentration at a point, or we can say at a small distance, a small difference of the energy, and then we will integrate it for the complete energy level, and we will find the concentration for the whole of the band. We need to determine the Fermi energy in order to find the thermal equilibrium, electron and hole concentration. So we first consider an intrinsic semiconductor. An ideal intrinsic semiconductor as that does not have any defects. It is a pure semiconductor. So for that, the equilibrium distribution of electron and holes, that is given by GCE and GVE. GCE is for the conduction band states and GVE for the valence band states. So it is defined by 4 pi multiplied by 2 Mn star, that is the effective mass of the electron, 3 by 2 divided by H cube under root E minus EC. EC is the conduction band energy and E is the energy level for which we are finding the distribution of the electrons. Similarly, we can write it for the valence band. GVE is equal to 4 pi 2 mp star raised to the power 3 by 2 divided by H cube multiplied by under root EV minus E. So this distribution, that the line going downwards, is the Fermi distribution function that we have seen in previous discussion. So this line, that this is representing the distribution of Fermi distribution function, and we can see there is a, if we draw this function GCE, then it will be a rising function, and then GVE will be a falling function with a variation in this energy level. So in combining these two, we can find this overlapping area in which we will find the density of states. So that is represented by the multiplication of GCE and FE. Similarly, here in the falling side we have this value of, because here we have the opposite function of this, because here we are talking about the, in valence band we talk about the presence of holes, then it will be just reverse to that of the presence of electrons. So in that way, the function will first increase and then it will be decreasing. This is the same graphical representation of band diagram and the concentration of states, then Fermi distribution function, and this is representing the multiplication of these two. Here you can see it is rising and the Fermi distribution function is falling. So initially it will rise, it will increase, and then the Fermi distribution function will become effective and it decreases. Similarly, in case of valence band, first it rises, then it goes to zero value. In the similar fashion, we can find the density in conduction band and valence band, with the difference that here you can see the area is larger as compared to intrinsic material. So in this, the probability of finding the hole in this area is, that is the whole electron concentration into the conduction band is larger as compared to the intrinsic semiconductor. Similarly, if you see for the extrinsic concentration of p-type, then in this the finding of that hole, that is the concentration of holes into the valence band, is much more larger than the whole concentration into a pure semiconductor. Now we will try to calculate the mathematical expression for the equilibrium concentration of N naught and P naught. So here I have written N naught is equal to integral of multiple of densities and the probability of finding the electron in the states. So integrating this for the defined range or the desired range, we can calculate the equilibrium concentration of electron. So our conduction band is rising from EC to infinite. It is taken as the limit, so that all the ranges, all the energy levels of the conduction bands are included in this. So integrating this function from EC to infinite and taking an assumption that EC minus EF is greater than KT. This is called the Boltzmann approximation. So then E minus EF will be greater than KT, and we can write Fe as 1 plus exponential E minus Fe by KT equivalent to this value, because the exponential function will be much more larger than this 1. So we can neglect this 1. So using this Boltzmann approximation, we came to this expression of Fe. Then putting the value of into the N naught. So this value is coming from the value of GCE that we have seen in previous discussion, that the GCE is 4 pi 2 mn star to the power 3 by 2 upon h cube, and under root E minus EC. So this complete is the function GC and this is function Fe. So multiplying these two and integrating it in this limit, we will find the concentration of holes. So assuming that eta is equal to E minus EC by KT, just to simplify this integration, we will reach to a point where N naught is equal to, taking this constant outside, exponential minus EC minus EF by KT, and integrating from 0 to infinite, eta raised to the power 1 by 2 exponential minus eta into dn. So this term is the gamma integral function. Here it is written 0 to infinite eta raised to the power 1 by 2 exponential minus eta d eta is equal to 1 by 2 root pi. So this complete is the gamma function that is in part of this N naught. So we will replace this with the value of the gamma function, that is pi by 2. So the N naught comes out to be the same term, exponential minus EC minus EF by KT square. So if we take this term, that is 2 pi mn KT raised to power 3 by 2 by h square as NC, then we can write this concentration equation of N naught as N naught is equal to NC exponential minus EC minus EF by KT. So this is defining the concentration of hole at equilibrium, where NC can be calculated by this formula. EC is the conduction band energy level, EF is the Fermi energy level, K is the Boltzmann constant, and T is the absolute temperature. So we can put the values to find the value of NC for a standard condition. So this comes out to be 2.5 into 10 raised to the power 19 per centimeter cube. Similarly, we can find the concentration of holes also, with the difference that in the finding the concentration of electron, we have multiplied the states, that is the density of states GCE, with the probability of finding an electron in that states. Now we want to calculate the concentration of holes. So for that we need the density of that valence band set, that represented by GVE, multiplied by the probability of finding an hole. So probability of finding an hole will be 1 minus probability of finding an electron. So now simplifying this and taking the same Boltzmann approximation, EF minus EV much greater than KT, this terms comes out to be exponential minus EF minus E by KT. So putting this into this equation and placing the value of GVE and integrating it for the defined range of the valence band. So minus infinity to EV, putting the value of GVE exponential minus EF minus E by KT. Simplifying it, there we again get the gamma function. Putting the value of gamma function, we get the P naught as 2 pi mp star kt raised to the power 3 by 2 h square exponential minus EF minus EV by kt. So NV, if we assume as 2 multiplied by 2 pi mp star kt raised to the power 3 by 2 h square, then we get the expression of P naught as NV exponential minus EF minus EV by kt, and in this we can see this concentration is dependent upon the energy level, that is the energy of the valence band, Fermi level and temperature. And also if we see in detail to the NV, then it is also dependent upon the effective mass of the hole, and rest of the terms are constant and varying with the T raised to the power 3 by 2 is the variation of